Hello, 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 community. Happy Thursday to all of us. I hope everybody's having a fantastic start of the week. Welcome to another community event today on YouTube live stream. As always, we're always looking forward to these community events as they give us the opportunity to engage, interact, and talk about our industry, and most importantly, also reflect on our ecosystem as well. As you know, one of our pillars is building a global decentralized community. And this is one of the outlets that we use to bring as many people as possible that are passionate and enthusiastic about the crypto industry. And I want to understand what the crypto industry is all about, much, much deeper than just the surface that is being fed onto us by the industry, by the social medias, and to limit the blockchain technology to something so minute. But today we're going to discuss, as you see, the topic of today is blockchain innovations. We often limit our spectrum to just simple trades, of coins and tokens that we speculate on. But the blockchain technology is so much vaster, so much broader, and so much more important than what we really limit it to be. And today we're just going to, for the sake of time, of course, we're going to limit it to a few different industries and just highlight the impact that the blockchain technology has on our industry, And also, let's not take things for their face value. Let's always look at things for what they really are. What do I mean with that? Like, oftentimes we read or we hear about news, and most of the time we understand that our industry is led by emotions, right? Fear and greed. And one of our other four pillars is education. If you're informed and educated, you're not easily swayed by emotions, most specifically fear or greed, but you'll be well informed and educated, and you'll be well-rounded and equipped to see the bigger picture so that you're aware of what's happening and you'll be up to date on the current events, and you won't just take the news or what the social platforms are currently talking about, and you will take it for what it really is and not just for its face value. And that's something that you can do once you have a deeper knowledge of the markets on a broader base, and really understand what the blockchain technology is all about. And let's not limit it to just mere coins that we speculate on Uniswap, right? With that said, community, today's topic is blockchain innovations. It's going to be a very interesting topic, I believe, and I hope. The aim is that it's going to inform, educate, and inspire us to really push forward and really embrace this technology, this industry. And there's so much room for growth still, and we are so thrilled to be part of this industry at the early stages of it. With that said, you know the drill. We always like to come to you first, check on you who is here, acknowledge all of you that took their time to be here with us today, and then we'll jump right into today's topic, and then we'll come full circle right back to you at the end of the session to check with you whether there's any follow-up questions, feedbacks, and anything that you want us to really answer to you. Before we kickstart and do that, as we're going through these comments, all the tweets are out. The Survivor, Killer Whale, and BULLRUN tweets are already out. So feel free to engage with them. I encourage you to, as always, it's our daily drill to engage with them. As you know, it helps us to reach many people in the industry, and it helps also to bring awareness to the crypto industry and to really bring awareness to our ecosystem as well. So as we're going through these comments now, please feel free to engage if you have not yet with the tweets, comment them as well, and retweet them so it reaches as many people as possible. With that said, let's acknowledge all of you that are here. Brother Dave is here. Hope all is well, family. Being here so early, we can only imagine what new developments we'll see in the future. Absolutely. This is exactly what the topic is all about. It's all about understanding and looking at the bigger picture. Let's not be short-sighted, and we'll get to it as we progress in this session. Okay? My great brother Theo says, greetings, my great brother Steve, dearest Mama Wino, and our wonderful BULLRUN family. I pray that you and yours are doing fantastic. Excited for this topic and another historic session. Let's go. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community as well, great brother Theo. We have Queen Lapi is here as well. She says, greetings, BULLRUN family. We thank God for preserving all of us so that we continue on this journey till we reach our final destination. Lead us, our brother Steve, like Moses when he led the children of Israel. These are very deep words of Egypt, out of Egypt. Take us, Egypt, for poverty, this God. In Latin, you are very much appreciated, and thank you for your kind words, and you're very much appreciated. What I want us to go back to right here is that, we are in this journey together, right? And we all aim to reach our final destination, that whatever that may be. And the beautiful thing about this is there is really no limits to this. And we'll just want to grow, keep growing together. As we said, one of our pillars is to develop and grow a global decentralized ecosystem. So thank you so much, Queen Lathi, for your kind words and encouragement. You're very much appreciated. We have Queen Val here as well, saying, hello, family. Happy Thursday. Greetings to you, Mr. Steve. And to our Queen, Mother. So excited for yet another impactful session. Very much appreciated, Queen Val. Thank you very much. Further here to all our new members, you can join our community. This is very, very important. For if you're new in the community, feel free to follow the links down here that we have. We have links for BULLRUN. This is for Killer Whale. And then we have the Survivor Telegram links that you can be part of our ecosystem, be part of our community. If you're new, feel free to be part of our ecosystem. Thank you, Queen Val, for this. Also, the tweets are all out, family. Let's interact with them. Be sure to like, retweet, and leave a comment. Let's go. Absolutely. This is very, very important. Like we said at the beginning, let's always ensure that we engage with these tweets as they have a broad reach, especially on Twitter. Twitter is X is a great platform that has deep reach, and we've been doing really great on it. We're very interactive, we're very active. So let's continue doing what we've been doing. Queen Mother Wino herself, greetings to the amazing queens and kings of the BRL family. Always looking forward to these educational and informational sessions. Thanks, Steve, for always feeding us with a wealth of knowledge. Thank you as well for all that you do. Thank you for your encouragement, your leadership. You are very much appreciated, very, very much. What do we have here? Yes, these are the tweets. BULLRUN tweet is out. We have Killer Whale that is out, and Survivor is out as well. So thank you very much, Queen Val, for putting all these out. For those that have not engaged with them yet, feel free to do so. We have Queen Patricia here. Says, greetings, family. Happy Thursday. Thank you again, Steve, for your dedication and commitment. Stay protected and blessed always. Thank you so much, Queen Patricia. You're very, very much appreciated for all your efforts, your commitment, the inputs, your leadership. You're very much appreciated as well. We have Queen Evelyn here as well. Says, hello, Steve. Queen Grotto here. I just want to say thank you for the BULLRUN ecosystem. God bless you abundantly. Same to you, Queen Grotto. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Thank you for your consistency, your leadership. You're so much appreciated as well. My brother Thembi is here as well. Greetings, great brother Steve, amazing Mama Wino, and the awesome BULLRUN community. I hope you are all well. Locked and loaded for incredible knowledge. It's a pleasure seeing you here, my brother Thembi. Queen Cozy is here as well. Greetings to everyone. Trusting you are all well. Looking forward to an inspiring and educational session tonight. May the Lord bless you, brother Steve, for your unwavering dedication and commitment. Queen Cozy, you are very much appreciated. Thank you for your consistency, for always showing up in these community events and you're very much appreciated for your leadership and your consistency as well. None other than Queen Alice is here as well. Hi, Steve. Hi, everyone. Thank you for your effort to empower us. My question is, what happens after all the million tokens are over, finished? This is a great question for the end. At the end, I'll save it for the end. I'll be happy to answer this question. This is a great question. I'll be happy to answer it. Then we have Queen D here as well. Hello, Brother Steve, Mama Wino, and beloved BULLRUN family. It's a privilege to be showered with unconditional education. You are highly acknowledged and appreciated. May your blessings be increased. Thank you so much. The same may be with you as well. You are very much appreciated for your consistency, your leadership as well. And also, my great brother Abdullahi says, warm greetings to you all, and everyone special one to you, Steve. Eagerly looking forward to listening to valuable information and informative and insightful sessions as always. Thank you so much, great brother Abdullahi. You're very much appreciated for your leadership, your consistency, and for always inspiring us all as well and uplifting all of us in the community. With that said, community, you're very much appreciated and acknowledged. Thank you for being part of this session today. Bear with me as I'm changing or shifting my screen so I can share with you, and we can kickstart this session right now. Again, today's topic is blockchain innovations. Like we said, today's session is to really enable us to look at our industry for what it really is. Let's embrace it. Let's really look at this industry for what it really is. And let's not fall victims of limiting, minimizing, the blockchain industry and the blockchain technology. And I hope the aim of today is to really shed light so that we really appreciate the industry for what it really is. And most importantly, to really look at the impact that the future has on us and really embrace what's about to come to us. With that said, let's look at today's market. If we look at today's market, we have a lot of questions, right? First of all, we are down over 3%. And what just happened? Didn't we just have Ethereum ETF? Shouldn't the market be flying right now? We are looking at news, and the news is telling us how these ETF issuers are gaining volume in the billions of dollars, and hundreds of millions of dollars are changing hands and being traded. But why is the market down then if so much money is being traded and shifting hands? So first natural reaction is fear, right? Let's be fearful. Let's be fearful right now, right? So what's happening? It's always the first reaction is to be fearful if we don't understand what's really happening, right? And to make it worse, what we just said, right? ETH is down over 7.5%, right? Actually 8 by now. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's 7 for the within the 24 hours. It's 7.5% roughly. And why is that? And outflows also increased, of course, because we know that Grayscale, as usual, they have the highest interest rate at 2.5. So many investors that had purchased ETH years ago with Grayscale are now exiting to competitors such as BlackRock, Fidelity, and so on and so forth, because they offer a lower interest rate or lower management rate for the investors within these asset managers. But that's beside the point. The point that we're trying to make here is that if we look at Ethereum and people just look at such headlines, and first thing that goes through your mind is panic sell, panic, and just lose hope, lose faith in the blockchain or in Ethereum as a blockchain, because why is it going down even though there's so many, so much volume and hundreds of millions changing hands in trading volumes and so on and so forth, right? So this is exactly the foundation that we want to lay today as we progress and go through this session today, right? So again, if you look at this industry for what it is and you go on Twitter right now, it's a bloodbath, right? You have all these various, theses that are going on. Besides all of this, also, if you look at the macro aspect of it, we see politics also going on. There is a lot happening in the world, and all this put together, causes a lot of uncertainty in the markets. And of course, if you look at the Feds with the interest rates still not on, all these speculations with the elections and all of this. So there's so many things going on. The war also still going on in the Middle East, and all of these things that are happening. So with that said, let's get back to today, okay? So don't fall for, oh, ETH is in trouble, it's down 7%, what's going on? Let's look at beyond today. If you really want to appreciate this industry, let's look at what is it bringing. Keep in mind, we're still in the early development at the innovation stages, actually, right? And we're not even in the full adaptation stage yet. And this is why we're experiencing all this volatility. So it's very important for us to look at the big picture. Let's get right into today's topic. To really appreciate what we are about to look at, we want to look at innovations, right? We want to look at what's the potential, because we always limit the blockchain industry for just trading meme coins, right? And just flipping meme coins. That's what blockchain technology is good for. That's limiting such an amazing technology. And in today's session, starting with this article right now, we are about to look at the industry for what it really is, right? So let's start with the hospital service market size, right? Let's look at the hospital service. We want to look at innovations that the blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, is about to literally experience huge growth with. So let's look at it. And this is just the hospital service market size, right? That's it. So the global hospital service market size is valued at currently over 12 trillion, right? The market size is 12 trillion US dollar. And that's last year, based on last year. And it's projected to double, almost double, right, to 22.5 trillion within 9 years, 2033. So let's keep this in mind as we go. This is just for us to have an idea of the market size. How large is the market that we're talking about? $12 trillion. If we look at the market size right now, we are barely sitting at 2 trillion, right? We're at 2 trillion. So that means the hospital service market alone is over 6 times the entire crypto industry. Keep this in mind. This is big, right? So meanwhile, we are worried about the market dropping 7.5%, but we don't see the bigger picture of how large this service is. Why am I pointing out this service? Because there are 3 things we need to look at, right? There are literally 3 ways in this industry. Like, let's look at 3 life science fields that are impacted by the blockchain, right? So again, this is just to highlight the blockchain technology is bigger than just flipping meme coins, right? So let's look at the health field, the life science field, starting with drug development and supply chain management. So currently, in the areas of drug manufacturing and supply chain management, blockchain can be very effective for ensuring integrity, right? So currently, blockchain can provide immutable batch records of active pharmaceutical ingredients in the manufacturing process and easy reporting system for adverse events of drug batch. So basically what it says is that all the ingredients that are being used in these so-called drugs development and the entire supply chain of them, it's so much more transparent if using the blockchain technology, right? So if we really want to get to the thick of it, is that the current process as it is, that permit drug supply chain tracking are fragmented And also they lead to human errors as well as fraud, right? So everywhere where there's humans involved, there's always errors that can happen, and fraud, right? Manipulation and all of that. But if you use the blockchain technology using this for the drug development and supply chain management in the healthcare industry, which is over 12 trillion US dollars large, this is how value can be brought onto the blockchain easily. It's more efficient, it's more stable, it doesn't include or lead human errors by humans, and it limits fraud as well, right? So this will improve the drug batches and improve the drug supply chain management using the Internet of Things on the blockchain, right? So this is just one of the examples that currently we can using the healthcare industry that can be brought onto the blockchain. And this alone is at over $12 trillion in market, has a $12 trillion market cap. So another thing is clinical trials, right? Another thing is clinical trials. So this is very, very interesting. So in clinical trials is also that is a very complex, it's a very complex structure. And this highlights that blockchain technology is impacting the complex process integrated into design, implementation, and management of clinical trials. So clinical trials have many stakeholders, right? Includes patients, study subjects, the sponsors, drug, medical devices providers, clinical investigators, healthcare professionals like physicians, nurses, and various government regulatory bodies. All of this is so difficult to put together in a ledger and keep it transparent and all of that, right? However, using the blockchain technology, this makes things so much easier, right? Especially patients' health records and clinical trials outcomes must remain private and secure. The only way to ensure that is literally using the blockchain technology, right? The trial protocol itself must be immutable. And blockchain is known as being immutable, meaning it's final. You can't change it, you can't alter it. And transparent as well. So everything on the blockchain is transparent, as we know, right? And everything has to be also conducted transparently for all stakeholders with protocols strictly adhered to, right? And also one important thing is the secure communication between stakeholders and different professionals in multiple different clinical trials. And the best way to do it is, again, using the blockchain technology. This is very important. So clinical trials, therefore, are perfect for blockchain technology, which allows for immutability, scalability, and traceability of records with varied data access permissive levels, right? A blockchain could help manage patients' consent, maintain trials protocols, track patient samples, as well as ensure secure communications between trial sites. So this is just to highlight that the blockchain technology is used for, or can be used for, far more than just flipping meme coins, right? So another thing, and the final thing also here, as far as the healthcare industry, is patient-centric usage, right? So the potential impact of blockchain technology on activities that surround a patient, which can be termed patient-centric blockchain usage. These use cases are varied and include implementation of smart contracts. This is the key word here, smart contracts. So if we put a full stop here and go back to CoinMarketCap, the #1 smart contract blockchain is by far, and we all know it, is Ethereum, right? Ethereum is the #1 smart contract blockchain. And it's not Bitcoin, it's Ethereum. So just to make us understand what's going on here. So just because a temporary drop of a market that is causing a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and confusion and sell-offs, this is all part of the journey. This is what this volatile industry is all about. It's a speculative market. It still has low liquidity. So every movement shifts heavily, right? So again, it's for us to look at the big picture. So smart contracts is the buzzword here. This is the key word here. And if we're talking about smart contracts, Ethereum is by far the largest smart contract platform, but we'll get to that. Let's continue. So for patient's consent. So again, these use cases include implementation of smart contracts for patient's consent and ownership management of health data. So the whole idea of putting health data, patients' data on the blockchain is because in order for the physicians and these individuals that are doing clinical trials and all of this, they need consent from the patient. And this consent can be triggered by a smart contract. That's if the patient signs with his key and his wallet and gives permission to these physicians, hospitals, health insurance providers access to their data. Currently, that's not the case, right? It's on a server, probably with Google or AWS, which is Amazon, and one of these 2 or 3 large centralized institutions. And if they get hacked, this is how clients' data are being misused or sold into the black market, right? So this is exactly a way also that you can use the blockchain to really get their consent, ownership management of their health data, patients' records management across all these different healthcare data landscapes like prescription medicine management, patients' claims and billings management, data security, medical wearables, and all of this can be deployed on the blockchain, right? And all of this will give them a personalized medical site for them that they can choose. With they, I mean the patients, they can choose themselves who they want to give access to, right? So blockchain implementation has achieved the most traction in patient-centric usage, as seen in the earlier collaborations. And a leader in blockchain implementation in Europe is GuardTime, for example. They've been collaborating with other nations, nation health services in the UK, and so on and so forth, and to put together, in the Netherlands also, and to come together using the blockchain technology for within the health industry that is right now over $12 trillion big, which currently is roughly 6 times the size of the entire crypto industry, right? So it's a large market that once it comes onto the blockchain, it's going to make a major difference, right? So just this healthcare industry, hospital services alone will 6x the entire industry, just this alone. And it's one of the smaller industries, by the way. Like we know, the global housing market is over 400 trillion in comparison, right? And so is the financial industry, and so on and so forth. So that's very important. But let's now look at some data. Like this chart you see in blue is Ethereum. Like we said, Ethereum has the most liquidity. And all this that we just spoke about as far as this industry and how all these various aspects of the healthcare industry can be used and can be deployed on top of the blockchain, that blockchain of choice, because it's all about smart contract, right? We read here, it's about it's smart contract. And if we talk about smart contract, the largest smart contract blockchain is Ethereum by far. By the value that is locked, we see here value locked. Ethereum is by far the largest, right? And also what I want to show here, if we look at real world assets, we just see how currently only credit is the largest by far now. So we still don't have healthcare, we don't have payments, we don't have AI, we don't have biotechnology. All of these different industries are not even in the markets yet. So imagine how much bigger the blockchain, Ethereum blockchain is about to get as far as liquidity, as far as growth, right? So this just to highlight that also once more, you see here, Ethereum is on the first place as far as how much total value is on the blockchain. It's 92 billion right now. This is nothing. This is small compared to what's about to enter the space. And once more, these are real world assets that are getting ready to be deployed on the blockchain. So let's not just focus on flipping meme coins on Ethereum and think that that's what the blockchain is all about. It's so much bigger than what we think. And if we get that understanding, such news is not bothering us. Or if we see the market acting volatile like this, it's just another day in the crypto world, right? It doesn't move us whatsoever, because we look at the big picture and we really understand what's coming, and we really embrace how early we are in this industry, and understand that if it comes to smart contracts, the number one blockchain that even JP Morgan and BlackRock have already chosen for their blockchains and stable coins and liquidity funds is Ethereum by far. And till today, Ethereum is still leading, right? So with that said, let's look at another industry, the payment industry, right? So before we get to this article, how large is the payment industry, right? It's $2.5 trillion. So this is a $2.5 trillion industry. So roughly as large as Bitcoin, as the entire crypto industry is right now. And this is exactly these two crypto companies have merged together. They've teamed up and they've improving the global crypto payment system. And why is this so special? I just want to highlight one thing. So now you can literally use strictly your wallet, right? And connect across 130 nations. You can purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other through 40 different fiat currencies, right? And the best part about this, it's all about on-ramping. So the way you get into the crypto space, the way you purchase Ethereum or Bitcoin or with your currency is easier now using this crypto project right now. They have an open banking solution. Right now it's in the UK and in 15 other European countries. This enables you to directly purchase crypto from your bank account using your wallet. So using your Web3 wallet. This is impressive. So you're skipping all the Visas, all the MasterCards, and all other centralized ways how to do it. And this is a new technology, a new way that enables you to connect directly to your bank account. And you can go straight from your bank account and do payments for crypto purchases. You're skipping so many things, so many fees, and it's so much more efficient, right? And this is another thing that I just wanted to highlight that is easily being implemented. It's already live, right? It's on, and it's another $2.5 trillion market. So it's already as large as the entire crypto industry right now, right? This is just the payment industry. Now, what else is here? Exactly. The topic here is what I want us to understand here is this. We're having a debate right now, and to really understand that every corner of human endeavor, and in many ways, with the increasing rate of us adopting the internet, right? There's still areas that are still embracing the internet. Technology plays an ever larger role in our daily lives, right? More and more of our interactions are mediated by social media and mobile apps, right? And cash falls by the wayside, meaning we're using less and less cash, right? We are now getting into the digital age where cash is becoming less and less used, and it's more digital, right? Especially what we just discussed here in the payment area. Cash is not being transacted here. Straight from your bank account, straight to your wallet. This is very impressive. So what we need to understand here is that almost all economic activities are routed through digital rails operated by banks or fintechs, right? So even how we are watching, like we're streaming more, we are playing more online games, or we are taking work even online. So our work is online, we play online, we're streaming online, videos, movies, whatever we want to watch. And this is the future, right? And why am I pointing these things out? It's because of this right here, right? This is how the blockchain technology is being embraced. It's not manufacturing anything. We always bring this chart up, right? It took Bitcoin, again, 12 years to hit $1 trillion in market cap, not because it has the best logistics or it manufactures the best products. No, simply because of adaptation, and simply because this is where our life is leading, right? Our life is based on the internet adaptation. And the more internet prone we are, technology play a major role in our daily lives, right? We are all stuck into social media and on our mobile apps. And what does this do? It will cause us to adapt and embrace the blockchain technology. Because like we've been talking about for the fathers, if it's in we all use healthcare, right? We all need the healthcare industry. We all need some sort of payments systems. This is our daily life, right? So these are things that are just second nature to us. How we watch, how we entertain ourselves, if we're into playing games or entertaining ourselves, how even work, everything is online, everything is digital. And the way the blockchain technology grows and is being embraced is just by sheer adaptation. It's a network effect. So in contrast to how Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, they have to either manufacture things, they have to look for logistics, they need vendors, or they have to have employees, a bunch of employees that they have to meet certain requirements, whether they're engineers, they're researchers, analysts, and so on and so forth. The blockchain technology just needs adaptation. It's as simple as that. If you have something of value, something that offers a service to the community, and something that is efficient and sustainable, that's how the community or the cryptocurrency grows, right? And that's the beauty of all of this. That's the beauty of this technology. Not only is it used by institutions, but we as retailers, we're using this for in our daily lives. We all, like I say, need healthcare. We all need health insurances and all of that. We all need payments, rails, and all of that. So, and our lives are based on social media, mobile apps, and all of this, right? The way we stream, the games, our work is based on online. So naturally, the industry is going to grow rapidly just by sheer adaptation, especially knowing that all this that is still about to enter the blockchain technology and be deployed on the blockchain technology. So once more, the blockchain technology is so much larger than just flipping meme coins on Uniswap. Keep this in mind, right? Okay, let's continue. Another thing that we need to look at is the car industry, the car manufacturing industry, right? And to really understand this, the automotive industry, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at the size of it first. So this is also close to 7 trillion. This is the global automotive industry market size, right? It exceeds 6.8 trillion. So almost 7 trillion. This is just the automotive industry. Now, keep in mind, there is this decentralized, physical infrastructure, right? So this is another thing that is large. So this again is already a $7 trillion market, and all of this is already live, is going on right now on the blockchain. And what it does is now, because you're using it on the blockchain, your data belongs to you. You have to give permission and access to your data. So how this demo works, they reward you, the car owners, if they decide to give up their data of their cars, meaning their commute, how much gas they use, or how far they're going, or the price of the vehicle, the services they make, all of this different data, you earn rewards, you earn crypto. So in this way, as things are right now, your vehicle is actually a liability right now. The moment you drive it off the lot, it depreciates already. But now with the blockchain technology, you can turn your vehicle actually and have financial incentives now, right? Just by giving permission to these companies to use your data, that you yourself can choose how much and which ones you want to give to get crypto rewards, right? Or as a car owner now. So these are just ways that the blockchain technology is going to be used so much. And this alone, again, it's a 7 trillion market industry. The automotive industry is 7 trillion, right? So this is just to show you how large the industry is, the potential of growth that is about to come. These will need smart contracts. And like, again, we said, smart contracts are on Ethereum, largely on the Ethereum blockchain. So it's very important for us to understand this, right? And like I said, this industry is at the crossroads. They need new innovations, more efficient ways how to do things. If it comes to audits, if it comes to manufacturing, if it comes to logistics, all this can be deployed on the blockchain, right? And it needs smart contracts. And right now, a reliable smart contract blockchain is Ethereum. It's the most liquid. It has the most developers, and it's one that is it's actually deflationary, right? And the more it's being used and embraced, like we saw here, the more deflationary it becomes. And because it's in our daily lives, these are things that we use in our daily lives. It's just natural that technology adaptation and internet adaptation is going to play a larger and larger role in our daily lives. And blockchain technology is going to be just that. Another thing also here that is also being used is the decentralized wireless networks. So you can be part of a global decentralized wireless network. You can earn rewards in cryptocurrencies for putting part of your Wi-Fi that you don't use, making it available for others to use. Last week, we just discussed how there was a global outage, right? That involved merely Microsoft, right? And because it's a centralized entity, it affected 85% of the world, right? And this is part of DePIN, decentralized financial infrastructure, that individuals now can, from home, by giving access to the wireless network, they can earn cryptocurrencies. Like Helium is offering that right now. So it's something that is live already. And you can earn just strictly by putting part of your unused internet service provider as a service, and you can earn rewards through that. Render does the same thing with GPU. You can put your hardware to work as well, and that way you can also earn income. So you see that with the fear of artificial intelligence, with the fear of AI coming into, being adopted, the same thing we have to understand that, yes, there will be a lot of manual labor that really nobody really wants to do will be taken over by AI. Of course, also blue collar jobs as well, and white collar jobs as well. However, it will also bring opportunities for individuals to be able to work from home and just earn revenue by just simply being part of a decentralized network, giving access to your internet or to your hardware on the computer, or simply by you having a car and giving data out to the insurance providers or car manufacturers, or whatever the case may be, and you can choose to do so, and you can be rewarded cryptocurrency. So there are so many ways how individuals will be able to earn revenue through this blockchain technology, and these are used by car manufacturers. This is just the car industry by itself. So yes, artificial intelligence might take a lot of work, a lot of jobs away from the market. However, the technology also brings a lot of opportunities that we shouldn't underestimate as well. And this market is a large market. We saw it's close to 7 trillion. And so if you're a car manufacturer, if you're a car owner, blockchain technology can turn your liability into an asset. So that's the point here. Another thing we should look at also is, and this affects the world literally, is the grid, power grid, right? Same thing, building the grid from the bottom up. Let's look at the global electricity market cap value worldwide. So it's a $1.6 trillion market, right? And same thing, this can be also done. So in the US alone, the grid struggles with wide-scale outages. So there are many outages, and this is not just in the US, this is globally. Outages happen everywhere, right? So now you can use the blockchain technology again to do a decentralized, this is what deepen, decentralized physical infrastructure. You can be part, there are many projects that are out there that are using, for example, the rivers, right? To create energy, right? And or use renewable energies for that. And then create like a decentralized network to offer that globally, right? So there are many things, many ways that you can do decentralized generative energy networks, that's what it's called, and you can offer services that are valuable to the customers and governments. So these are things that individuals will be able to do themselves. So once you into the blockchain technology, and there'll be a lot of many revenue sources that you can use through your vehicle, through giving permission to your data, by giving individuals access to part of your hardware or your internet, you know, or in this case, you can, if you're resourceful and if you're an engineer, a freelancer, you can start your own small local energy source, and you can provide this service that is valuable for your community or for the government. So there are many opportunities that are going to open up, right, for individuals to use this blockchain technology, and we're not even in full-fledged yet. And if we go back and look at the market caps of these, we see a 2.5 trillion here. This was 12 trillion here, and what else? We see a 7 trillion here. So this alone, and these are the small ones. We are not talking about the housing, which is over 400 trillion. We're not talking about the financial, the entire financial market. That's the largest one, by the way. So these are just smaller ones that I'm picking today. So those are the items that we look at. And the bottom line today, that what we've just discussed is, again, let's look at the blockchain technology for what it really is. It's so much bigger than just flipping meme coins on Uniswap. The blockchain technology is so powerful, and it's still not at its full potential yet, right? And let's look at it for what it's really worth and for its full potential. If we understand that, we look at Ethereum not because it's dropped 7% and we start panic selling and everybody's confused, but to understand that this is volatile. It's volatile. Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the potential. Let's look at the liquidity, the technologies, the industries that are about to come on the blockchain needing smart contracts. And where are they going to? The number one place where they're going to come, obviously, is Ethereum, right? Because this is where BlackRock decided to deploy their liquidity fund, right, on the Ethereum network. And this is also where JP Morgan decided to deploy their private blockchain, Onyx. And also in partnership with UK company Barclays, they decided to create a network on the blockchain that uses BlackRock's mutual funds as collateral, right? So we see that they're already creating a financial system on Ethereum blockchain. So when all of these industries deploy and need a home, where will they come? They'll come where the money is. Everybody goes where the money is. And right now, the money is on Ethereum, right? If you want to make money, you need money. So you have to come to Ethereum because this is where all the money will be and where the money is, right? So with that said, again, this shows you that currently the largest 75% is just private credit. Private credit is a small industry. So imagine the healthcare industry will also be part of this pie. automotive industry will be part of this pie. And we see how deep in decentralized financial physical infrastructure, that's all will be on this pie as well. So private credit will be just a small piece of it. And we'll see how the entire financial infrastructure will also be on this pie. And it's led by none other than Ethereum. And also, you see that if it comes to, you see the Ethereum, the largest fund, liquidity fund is the BULLRUN fund right here. And it's, where is it on? It's on Ethereum, right? So, and all these other Ondo fund also, it's a dollar yield. It's also on Ethereum. Yes, it's on Solana as well, but it's mainly on Ethereum. And US Treasury funds also on Ethereum. And short duration yield coin also on Ethereum. Follow where the money goes, and everything comes to Ethereum. So with all this said, you might ask yourself, well, Steve, you've been just talking about, you know, other companies and all that. How does that relate, or how does that translate to us, our ecosystem? Let's hear about that. So I'm glad that you think that way, because this last portion of today's session is really going to zoom in on the largest issue or challenge, for that matter, in the industry. And I'm not talking about the crypto industry, I'm talking about the financial industry, right? So breaking here is that banks are crashing in China, right? So this bank in China, Jiangxi, is a commercial bank. It went bankrupt completely, right? And with it, at least 40 other banks. And we're not picking on China. Bear with me. It's a global pandemic, right? And we'll get to that. We're just starting with them because it's after US, it's the second largest economy in the world, right? So this is why it's very important. What affects large economies affects all of us, right? So this is, at the first glance, you're like, okay, but what made it crash? What was the reason, right? Let me share with you this video. This is real life. You show up at your bank. Imagine how terrifying this must be if you show up at your bank, right, and you meet a large crowd in front of it. Everybody's rushing, trying to get the deposits out. Look at the crowd, panicking, rallying, trying to get the deposits out, and the doors are locked. There is simply no liquidity, right? There is nothing. They went bankrupt, and they've been using your money to literally finance other institutions or government bodies that failed to be able to pay back, right, what they borrowed. And this is exactly what we've been talking about for so long, right? Let's go further. Let's look at, well, what was the problem, right? Well, the problem was that, first of all, this is a 5.3 trillion, this is euros even, right? The total assets of these banks, there's involved 3,800 banking institutions are threatened in China, right? And together they account for 5.3 trillion euros. Now, keep in mind, that's more than double the entire crypto industry right now, just to show you the magnitude of this, right? How severe this is. It's more than double the entire industry, right? And also, what we need to understand is what happened? Well, these banks have long been poorly managing their money and have accumulated vast amounts of bad loans. How do banks make money? We've been discussing this. They give out loans. Where do they get the money to give out loans? It's from you, right? It's from you and me. So whoever deposits their funds in a bank thinking that it's safe and sound, the banks turn around and issue loans with your money. And they've been issuing bad loans, and it's been just poorly managed. And let's go back to what we just discussed from the very beginning. The beautiful thing about the crypto industry is that it's trustless. You can just use smart contracts and it does what it needs to do. Wherever you see human beings, things will be poorly managed right? And decisions will be made based on greed and fear and not on rationality, right? So this is something that it's a mess. This is really, really sad to see. It's a shocking sight to see how this could be you or me, right? Trying to get our deposits out, and we can't. We just can't, because there is no liquidity. Our money has been misappropriated. Look at this crowd panicking, trying to get their funds out. These are their life savings. Mainly you see the elders, right? These are business individuals, self-employed maybe, and they just frustrated, right? And this is not just China. This is the entire world, right? This is a global crisis. This is a global banking crisis. This is everywhere. This is Europe. This is Asia. This is America. This is everywhere, right? And the reason of this is always the same. It's always the same issue, right? We're always facing the same issue. If you ask yourself, well, what happened? Why do they face such panic? Why is all this happening? You know, and it's always the same thing. Always the same thing. What is it? It's liquidity, right? It's always liquidity. So one of the largest Swiss banks, the second largest, by the way, second largest Swiss bank, Credit Suisse, had to be bailed out by the government in the tune of 54 billion, right? It still didn't help them. They still got bought up by UBS, the largest bank in Switzerland. So this bailout by the government was even larger than the one in 2008. So the financial crisis that we are facing is big. And what are the issues? The issues were simple. The issues were because there was just lack of management, proper management, lack of liquidity, and lenders were not able to pay back due to the high interest rates, due to bad business, due to poor management. But the issue was always the same, right? It was always the same. And these are things that we've been talking about in the community. We've been talking about all of this and discussing how severe it is if you have no proper management, if you lack liquidity. And this is not just in the financial industry. This is it's even worse in the crypto industry, right? So why is liquidity so important? We need to understand that liquidity is a business. And this is what ETFs are all about. They don't care about the price. One thing, let's go back to this. While everybody else, well, retailers are panicking, going up or down, and the market dropping by 3%, institutions are having billions in volume on a daily basis, and this is how they generate revenue. They don't care about the price. So those who are so focused on price and worried about the price, and they're happy if the price goes up and they're fearful if the price go down, they don't really understand what the fundamentals are all about. Because if you're really smart, you understand that the real business is not into the price, but is in the liquidity. So these individuals, while everybody else, the retailers predominantly are panicking over the price, they are making money. They're generating revenue through transaction, just the fees. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, just based on volume alone, right? All these transactions that are happening, these ETF issuers, they're generating hundreds of millions a day just on transaction fees, right? Because they have such high volume. And this is exactly what we aim to make the community or this industry, the crypto industry, understand. Instead of focusing on the price, right? Going up and down and speculating on meme coins, why don't you also add value and avoid doing what is happening in the current market right now, because it's a debt-driven market, right? So how can you succeed in a debt-driven market? We always talk about this. If it's debt-driven, let me show you something here. Let me share something with you. We always look at this, right? This is our industry, this is our financial monetary system. We know this chart by now, right? It's inflationary. That's why you see the chart going down. It's debt-driven, and you lose your purchasing power over time, right? So what do you expect if that's your philosophy? But meanwhile, the real smart money is just accumulating liquidity and literally using that liquidity, generating tons of volume and generating revenue that way. And this revenue is not going to the retailer. Actually, it comes from the retailer, right? And it goes into the 1%ers. And none of us are benefiting from all these ETF transactions in the billions of dollars, because you would think that if there's such high transactions and high volumes, why doesn't it affect the price positively, right? So what am I saying here is that we need to understand that the real business is in the liquidity business, not into the price. Don't worry about the price. Price is just the symptom, right? But if you focus on fundamentals and you develop a platform that is literally efficient, sustainable, and addresses the 4 challenges we always talk about, right? Lack of liquidity, we see here. We just talked about, and we saw how individual bank doesn't have the liquidity needed. This is not just, this happens to cryptocurrencies as well. Now, this is not just this one bank. Same thing can happen to Bitcoin, even Ethereum, right? Binance, because if you don't focus on retaining liquidity, you will run into exactly this issue right here. If you don't retain liquidity, this is just the real world, but this is how it looks online. This is how it looks online. This could be because there's just no liquidity, because these cryptocurrencies don't see the value of retaining liquidity, of have mechanisms in place to retain it. So this is why we always stress on liquidity. We always encourage liquidity, because this is where the real business is. The business, there's an entire industry that is driven solely by liquidity, right? And this is also why you see, when we see here, real world assets, till now, why do you think the largest is credit? Why do you think credit is the largest part, is the most involved, is credit? Because people lack liquidity, they don't have it. So they have to go and take on credit. But what happens if you take on debt, if you take on credit, is the banks go belly up because they took on bad loans, right? Like we read here, these individuals, they took on bad loans, which were poorly managed, and they have accumulated a vast amounts of bad loans. So debt, if you keep compounding debt over and over, you'll just accumulate bad loans, and that doesn't end well. This is why now we get into us. How can we reflect? How does this relate to our equal, right? This is just US company with the most cash in hand. Why? It's not a coincidence that the most valuable companies, the top companies in the world, they all are liquid. This is another just to show how liquidity is important. They're all really liquid, right? And like the Berkshire has over 188 billion in cash reserves. Google has 100 billion. Amazon 85, Microsoft 80, and so on and so forth, right? Apple also has 67 billion. These are funds that just sitting around, they don't know what to do with it, right? So imagine if they had an opportunity to be able to have an asset that is extremely liquid and that they can stake and receive USDC distributions based on using their volume efficiently. They'll be happy to invest it somewhere, But as of now, there is no such instrument. There is none, right? There is really no such instrument. So they rather just store it somewhere and just sit on it, right? And now let's get to where we wanted to go now. This is exactly where we come in, right? If we now zoom in and look at our ecosystem and just highlight the challenges we just saw, right? We saw everything that is about to come on chain. We saw the hospitality business, right? We saw the hospitality industry, we saw all the deep ins as far as the electric grids. We saw decentralized network and all of that. We read how our lives are led through the internet and adaptation of technology, mobile technology, all of that, right? And now we talked about how banks go belly up due to lack of liquidity, bad management, bad loans, debt-driven monetary systems. This is the opposite. This is liquidity-driven monetary system. And this is exactly what sets our industry, our ecosystem apart. So instead of accumulating debt, bad debt, like we saw here, right? This is what happens if you just accumulate debts and you keep stimulating the economy by printing, causing more inflation. And to stimulate the economy, you always have to cause more inflation, right? By this, you lose your purchasing power, and by this also, your debt just keeps compounding and you'll never be able to pay it back. And the best example is the government itself, right? So this is the fate of everyone that is victim of the current monetary system. And this is exactly what we're trying to do here, right? And the biggest challenge is not the regulation either, because it's already here, at least in Europe, right? The biggest challenge in this industry right now is to change individuals' mind, for them to relearn what money is, how the monetary system is flawed and working against them, especially the debt aspect of it, the compounding of debts. That's the biggest challenge, is to change people's mind and to open their understanding, inform and educate them on how money works, the monetary system, and how the debt-driven monetary system is against them. And go. Instead of compounding debt and ensuring that individuals are receiving, these companies are just making money through your transactions or charging you interest rates. You see here, private credit is the #1 issue. So imagine, this just shows you that people just are not liquid. They don't have liquid assets. Liquid assets are in demand. This is why these credit companies are booming, right? So imagine you tell them, okay, finally, we're using a blockchain technology. We are focusing heavily on liquidity. We have a platform and the way this blockchain and ecosystem are being adopted is strictly by adaptation. This is how they grow. So we know this chart. The way you grow is simply by usage adaptation of that platform. So imagine that means the more individuals are using our platform, our ecosystem, that's how it grows. And the more it grows, that means the more liquidity it retains. The more liquidity retains, naturally, the more volume it gets. And because we're using our volume efficiently, this volume will bind even more tokens, add more liquidity, and retain or accumulate, rather, USDC distributions for the stakers, right? And now, by doing so, you have a liquid asset that is extremely liquid. What did we learn about liquidity? Liquidity is a whole industry. ETF is, you can name ETFs liquidity, basically, because they have to match 1-to-1. They are very liquid. ETFs are basically, they are extremely liquid, and you can monetize them in so many ways. You can even collateralize ETFs and use them. This is what JP Morgan is doing, and create a whole new banking product as well. So this is the point I'm trying to make here, community, is that using retaining liquidity can avoid a lot of issues, can avoid us from being shocked, not being able to withdraw our deposits. And this is not just the financial industry. Keeping it in the cryptocurrency is the same thing. This is why if you look at your cryptocurrencies or ecosystem, are they retaining liquidity for you? Or will we also be victims of having to be locked outside and not be able to withdraw any funds? So this is why we always ensure that oh, I see that my mic is breaking. Let me see. Yeah, I hope it's better, community. I just read that that my mic is breaking. Let me know if it's better, community. Let me know if it's better. Oh, great. Sorry about that. I just saw that I was cracking. Yeah, yeah. So what I was saying here is that the whole idea, the whole reason why we always stress on liquidity and retaining it is to avoid the community from having such experiences that we see in the real world. You don't want to be locked outside, right? You don't want to be locked outside and not having the access to your liquidity. These are your funds. People work hard for their funds. And these are elderly people who are looking forward for early retirement. These are business individuals. And we are experiencing the same thing in the crypto space, right? It's a big issue. So us focusing on retaining liquidity is of high priority, right? And it's in the best interest of the community. And this is exactly why we are stressing so much. And we could be like, well, we could be like these issuers, right? ETF issuers. They're really not bothered with the price going up or down. Why? Because as long as there are trades going on and they have enough liquidity, guess what? They're making their money, right? And this is how they're generating revenue, through transactions. And because they're so liquid, transactions are guaranteed. So why don't we do the same thing, community? Why don't we focus on retaining a bunch of liquidity, right? So that we can all focus on just having a liquidity fund, just like the traditional institutions are having, but on a decentralized way. A liquidity fund that the community owns, right? And our aim is to create or just build and develop a decentralized ecosystem, right? And that is run by retailers, you and me. Us retailers, we are often overlooked, we are often excluded, and literally used to just be debt, borrowers, right? We need to borrow things and to make our ends meet, right? We live on credit and we are debt-ridden due to this monetary system, right? So the hardest challenge right now is not technology, because the technology is here. We have the blockchain technology. It's not the regulations. MiCA is here, and regulations are being put in place in the next few months, right? It's the educational part. That's the challenge. Educate individuals, specifically retailers, on the importance of an efficient and a sustainable ecosystem led by solid liquidity gathering, right? And we're not only gathering liquidity through taxes, by the way. We are gathering liquidity through our staking platform as well. We put aside 10% of the supply so that we can stake and restake, right? That's the whole idea. That will also help with the volume. And once it helps with the volume, it will generate more liquidity, it will burn more tokens, and it will accumulate more USDC distributions. Why are these three aspects so important? Because, like we said, The more liquidity you have, you'll attract a lot of traders, and not just regular traders, but whales, traders with a large wallets, right? Because they'll be comfortable to trade where there's liquidity. And the more liquidity there is, the more volume there'll be. And all of this, like the 6% tax, 5 of them goes right back to the community. 3% goes to liquidity, right? 1% goes to ban, and 1% goes to staking. So that's 5% combined, right? The 1% goes towards the ecosystem and operations. So this just shows you how this is an ecosystem that is developed to be sustainable. That's the most important, to be efficient. How is it efficient? Because it's using its volume efficiently. That's exactly what ETFs do, right? They come with liquidity. Liquidity brings them volume, and then they generate revenue through this volume and give it to the shareholders, right? And us, the way we do it is just give it back to the community. It goes right back into the ecosystem, right? It goes into the liquidity pool, it binds tokens, and it goes into USDC distributions. And one thing that is really unique, before we go to that, another way we accumulate liquidity is through the sale, or the revenue rather, of these NFT boosters, right? So in order for you to get your 100% of your USDC distributions, you have to have 5 of these boosters, right? And the revenue generated from these are being used to purchase more BRL, which means that you're adding more USDC into the liquidity pool. And finally, after these 3, there's a 4th one, and that's when the community comes into play now. It's the community now that can do the same thing that this smart contract is doing, right? You can now stake and restake, and this is not only empowering you to start compounding your liquidity instead of compounding your debt, right? So instead of compounding your debt like in the current financial system, this ecosystem, this platform gives you the opportunity through the USDC distributions to compound your liquidity, compound your asset. So that's up to you. You can decide to do that. So if you do that individually, if you decide to do that, it benefits not just you because it's your bag, but it benefits everyone else in the community, because by you compounding, guess what you're doing? You're adding more liquidity, you're burning more, contributing to burning more tokens, and throwing in more USDC into the smart contract. Let's look at this more clearer. The most used application in the entire industry are staking platforms. They're the most used. Don't take my word for it. Let's verify. Let's go to overview. Or let's go back to chains, and let's look at this. Let's look at this. If we go to Ethereum, let's look at the top 4. What are they? Number 1, staking, right? Staking. Second one, staking. Aave, yes, it's a lending platform, but it's also staking. Maker, yes, it produces DAI stablecoin, but it's also a staking platform. EtherFi, staking. Uniswap, yes, it's a DEX, but it's also staking. Rocket Pool, staking. I think you get the idea, right? So the top 5, 6, 7 applications on the Ethereum blockchain are strictly based on staking. So staking plays a major role. Now let's go back to what I was about to say. All of these staking platforms that we just looked at, they're inflationary, right? Let's look at 1 or 2 of them. I always like to verify, right? Don't take my word for it. Let's verify. We saw Aave, right? Let's look at Aave. If we zoom out and we look at Aave, we see how inflationary it is. It's an inflationary staking platform. So you stake Aave, you get more Aave, and this causes inflation. And this chart looks awfully familiar, right? It looks like this. In the long term, inflationary platforms are just dropping, right? And let's not pick Aave, right? Let's not pick on Aave. Let's pick on something else. Let's pick, what else? Uniswap, right? Let's look at Uniswap. Same thing, right? You can think it's a copy. It's a copy of it. And it looks awfully familiar with this. So if you are inflationary, this is what it looks like. And what do we mean? Remember, we mentioned 4 challenges in the industry, and the 4th one was inefficient use of volume. So even though you have 142 million in volume, and your chart still looks like this. This just shows you how inefficient and inflationary this is. So the point I was trying to make is these platforms, staking platforms, right? Let's look at even Lido. Lido was the number 1. If you look at these staking platforms, right? If you look at these staking platforms, you realize one thing, right? This is the largest staking platform in the industry, and it holds the 33% of Ethereum is staked with Lido. And this, it's still inflationary, right? So as long as you're inflationary, your volume you can be so high, but it's still inefficient, right? And let's look at Ethereum itself, right? Let's just be fair. Let's even look at Ethereum itself. So even Ethereum itself on a 30-day, it's inflationary, right? Because there's not much activity going on. So it's actually issuing more ETH than it's burning, right? Because you just realize that it's not burning enough. But the irony here is that if you look at the volume, let's look at Ethereum's volume. Ethereum's volume right now is 25 billion. So how can you have a 25 billion worth of volume and you're still inflationary? This just shows you that the 4 challenges we always talk about: lack of liquidity, inflation, inefficient use of volume, and unsustainable staking distributions. You see that there's inefficiency here, right, in the industry. And this is normal. In every new industry, there are inefficiencies. And this is why we focus on these inefficiencies, right? These are the 4 challenges: inefficient use of volume, lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions. We just saw all of those 4 challenges right here, right now. So the point I'm trying to make here is that now that we understand that all these staking platforms are inflationary, and we looked at their charts, look at our supply. We started with 1 million in supply, right? However, if you go to Etherscan to verify, we are now down to 968,000 tokens. So we banned over 31,000 tokens, not just banned, but removed from the max supply. So while other staking platforms are inflationary, and let's look at another one, Curve. We saw Curve here too, right? Where is Curve? Curve is also among them. Top 15. Here's Curve, right? It's a very popular staking platform. Look at Curve. It's hyper inflationary, right? And it's a popular staking platform. So this just shows you the importance of at least a deflationary staking platform is not scarce. So all these staking platforms we've looked at are inflationary, but ours is scarce. It's actually, with every trade, the supply keeps shrinking. And there is no other staking platform in the industry like that, right? All of them are inflationary. And none of them, besides that, none of them are retaining liquidity either. None of the staking platforms are retaining liquidity either. Because if you are a staking platform and you retain liquidity, not only do you attract stakers, but you attract traders. And if you attract traders, that means your volume will be spiked. And once your volume is high, you're burning more tokens and you're accumulating more USDC distributions. And this is how you efficiently use your volume, right? We always talked about efficiently using your volume. Let's do a math here. We can't leave without making an example. Okay, Steve, what do you mean with using your volume efficiently? Let's take Curve. It has the lowest volume, 75, right? So let's call it 70 for our case. Let's look at some numbers, how if we had this type of volume, how much more efficient would we be, right? So if we want to do this calculation, let's look at this. Let's start with, so 75%, 75 million, right? 1% of it is 750,000, right? So that means 1% of 75 million is 750,000. So that means that $750,000 worth of BULLRUN tokens are going to be banned within 24 hours. And that's a lot of tokens that are going to be banned, right? And right now, that means also 750,000 worth of USDC is going to be put in the smart contract for the stakers to receive these USDC distributions. So now we are scarce by 750,000 worth, and 750,000 goes to stakers, those who want to stake their BRL token. And talking about staking, you might wonder, who is this whale on the #1 spot? This is not an individual's wallet. This is a smart contract. And there's over 60% staked right now in this staking contract. This is huge. And this is one of the most staked tokens in the industry. Only topped by Binance is the #1 staked by, it has over 80% staked, but CZ owns over 60% of it, actually overall 90% of it. So, but the point we're trying to make, the #1 wallet it's a smart contract, right? And this is how you come and check how much, you can verify this, how much BRL token is staked, right? And this is where you also verify how much USDC is collected in this staking contract. So like we said, we calculated 1% from 75 million. That means 750,000 USDC would be right here in this staking contract, right? For the community to receive every 24 hours, right? But more importantly is this right here. Liquidity is the most important part of this. So to do that, to calculate, it's 3%. So we have to multiply by 3. So let's look at how much liquidity we'll be having. So 2.2 million. So over 2 million of liquidity will be added on a daily basis right here to the liquidity pool, right? And let's not stick to one day. Let's look at for 1 month. So 67 million, right? Would be over 67 million will be in liquidity. That's just 1 month. Now let's go all the way 1 year. So now we're sitting at over 800 million, right? So if we compare 800 million, let's go back to right now, Bitcoin has how much? Bitcoin is sitting at 1.3 billion, right? In 15 years. So, but it will take us just 1 year to hit 800 million, right? And this just based on Curve's volume, which is not much at all, right? Based on their volume, we would have that type of liquidity, right? And the chart would definitely not look like this, because while we are using our volume and liquidity, we'll be banning tons of tokens like you saw, 750,000 worth every day of tokens will be banned, liquidity will be added, and USDC distributions will be accumulated. So this just shows you how efficient, sustainable our staking ecosystem is. And it's very unique because there's no other staking platform that accumulates liquidity, is scarce, and gives you USDC distributions, avoiding inflation, right? So this is what this session today was all about, talking about the innovations that are about to enter the industry. That means a lot of liquidity is about to enter, specifically Ethereum. Follow where the money goes, follow where the money is. And the money is, like we saw here, is strictly on Ethereum, right? It's on the Ethereum blockchain, like we saw here. If we go to overview, you clearly see that Ethereum literally is dominating the sector, the industry, right? Because it's the largest, it has the most liquidity. And like I said, BlackRock and JP Morgan also have their liquidity fund, real world asset liquidity fund, treasury bills, and their own private blockchain and a network of collateral on the Ethereum blockchain as well, right? All the stable coins that are liquid, majority of them are on the Ethereum blockchain too. So the bottom line here is that money goes where money is, and all of these, the entire industry of hospital services, like we saw, it's an industry of 12 trillion. If that alone enters the market, that's 6 times the current market cap, right? So what am I saying? A lot of liquidity is about to enter the space. Is your ecosystem developed to make the best of it? Or will it be another victim of a bull cycle, right? Well, Steve, what do you mean with victim of a bull cycle? This is what victims of bull cycle look like. Here comes the bull cycle, right? But then follows a bear market. So you lose 80% of what you had. And then you see the same thing happens again. Now we're going through another bull cycle, and then we'll come right back down again. Why is that the case? It's because you're not retaining liquidity, right? You're putting your community at danger. You are literally locking the door in their faces and depriving them from liquidity. Why are we in the industry? So that we can cash out, so that we'll be able to cash out, right? So what's the point of being part of an ecosystem that is turning you into the exit liquidity and benefiting only those who got in earlier, right? Minutes before you, right? And that's wrong. That's why we address those challenges. Those are the challenges in the industry that need to be addressed. Lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, inefficient use of volume. And this is exactly what our ecosystem is addressing in spades, right? So this is the topic, this is the session for today, community. A lot of liquidity is about to enter the space. Let's not fall victim of being the ones that are collecting debts and borrowing debts, right? Let's be the ones that are compounding liquidity. And through the USDC distributions, we have the opportunity, and we are enabling the community to be able to compound liquidity and not debts, right? So now you have yourself a liquid asset that is scarce and that issues you a cash flow in the form of USDC distributions. And it's using its volume and liquidity efficiently, right? There is no other asset like that in the industry, specifically no staking platform like it. And the challenge in this industry is not the technology. We already have it. It's here. We can use it efficiently. It's not regulations. MiCA is in place. The US is putting together theirs. Hong Kong has theirs. Europe, like I said, through MiCA has theirs. Singapore, they have theirs in place. So it's just a matter of time. However, the challenge is educating the masses. And this is also one of our 4 pillars. This is what we do 4 times a week, right? Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and then in between or throughout the week, we do Zooms every single day, right? You can join them. You can learn how to open your DeFi wallet, how to get your ETH. If you have any questions, you need more specifics, you need a presentation of the ecosystem, you have any follow-up questions, Zoom is open every day, besides the 4 weekly events. And then in the evenings also, VCs are open also. So we really take education very, very serious as a community because we understand that that's the biggest challenge in the industry, right? The biggest challenge is the industry. In the industry is educating the masses, right? And this is why we stress on education. And one of the largest and biggest issues in the industry also, like we said, is lack of liquidity. And we see banks going bankrupt because the depositors cannot get their money out. And it's a global issue, right? This is a global issue. It's not just China. It's the US, it's Europe, it's Asia, it's in Africa as well, it's everywhere. So liquidity is important. And whoever is in the business of liquidity, they're the biggest winners, right? So don't fall and focus on price. That never ends well. Focus on fundamentals, because if you focus on fundamentals and you have an ecosystem that is using its volume efficiently to gain liquidity, burn tokens, and give incentives that are sustainable, guess what? Price will be just a side, a byproduct, right? It shouldn't be your main focus. It shouldn't be your main dish. It should be your side dessert, right? Your main dish should be fundamentals, strong fundamentals. What are the challenges that you address? What are your tokenomics like? Are you retaining liquidity? Are you scarce or at least deflationary? What incentives are you giving? Are all these efficiently done and sustainable? Ask yourselves these questions, right? Be prepared for the liquidity. The bottom line is be prepared for the trillions of dollars in liquidity that are about to come. And pick your ecosystem wisely. Pick the one that is addressing the 4 challenges, that is retaining liquidity for you, and don't be victim of being locked out the door with your funds inside, right? That's the moral of the story today, community. I hope this session was informational and educational to you. I want to come back to you, community, and check. There were some questions there that I would like to go through and give more input to them, and see that we can address them. Bear with me as I'm setting up the screen here. Okay, so let me come and check with you, community. Let me see. There was a question here at the beginning from Queen Alice. And yes, let me address this question. It's very important. Hi, Steven and everyone. Thank you for your efforts and power to empower us. My question is, what happens after all the millions of tokens are over finished? This is a question that it's a very popular question, by the way. It's being asked very often. So what happens is that, Queen Alice, is that it will be very difficult for us to run out of the tokens. It will be near impossible, because first of all, the more burning that is happening with our tokens, that means the more expensive the tokens become. So that means that, for example, right now we're at 50 cents, right? Roughly 50 cents. So if you have $100 and you purchase a BRL token with your $100 at 50 cents, you'll get the double, right? You'll get 200 tokens, right? However, now picture BRL being $50 now instead of 50 cents. Your same $100 that previously gave you 200 tokens will now only get you barely 2 tokens, right? So you'll pay more, you'll pay the same amount but get way less tokens. So because, like we just discussed, we have an ecosystem that is extremely scarce. With every transaction, we're burning tokens, right? And this causes this in combination with the rest of the mechanisms, eventually, as the price increases, it will be more expensive to purchase these tokens. Look at just like Bitcoin, right? There are people who bought Bitcoin at 3 cents. They barely spent $100 and got tens of thousands via Bitcoin tokens, right? And same thing. But right now, if you use that $100, you'll get a fraction of a Bitcoin, 0.0000 something, right? You'll get a small fraction of it. And same thing will happen with BRL tokens. So you'll always get just fraction of a whole token. You won't get the entire token, right? So let's say one BRL token is $1,000, right? So now your $100 will just give you a 0.1, right? 0.01 even. So this is why it's very it's near impossible to run out of them because first of all, the tokens will be more and more expensive to purchase, and you'll only get fractions, not even a whole BRL token, depending on how much you put in, just as an example. So they will not run out. It won't be able to, you won't be able to run out on on Uniswap. It won't let you run out. The tokens will be just more and more expensive, and it will take you more liquidity to get less tokens. So that's how it is. And that's the beautiful thing about liquidity to market cap ratio. Once we hit that, we cross that 1 million market cap, which will put us way above $1, right? Now, that means that whatever you put in, you get the same. But once we hit the $2, $3, that means you put in more liquidity, but you'll receive less tokens. And that's where we'll see how the liquidity to market cap ratio starts really skyrocketing, increasing, right? That means that the liquidity will always come closer to matching the market cap eventually, right? And the way this ecosystem is set up, that's the whole idea. That's the reason why we set it up like this, because we want to be able to have solid liquidity and such as stable coins, without having to go through all those regulations like a stablecoin would have to. Liquidity is key. So it's impossible to run out of the tokens, Queen Alice. I hope that answered your question. Let's look at other things. This is a greeting from Queen Dumi was saying that, hello family, always an honor to be here. Special greetings, Brother Steve and Mama. Greetings back to you also, Queen Dumi. What else do we have here? Queen Grace said here, hello Steve, hello family, glad to be here once again. More knowledge in our crypto industry and more so our BULLRUN ecosystem. Thank you very much, Queen Grace, for your input. We have Awesome here. And we have good evening, Steve, Queen Mom, and the whole BULLRUN family. Happy to be here. Thanks for the depth of knowledge. Thank you very much. We have B knows ARD, excellent. Steve, you're amazing. This by far excellent info. Thank you for your feedbacks. To the moon BRL. And then this is where my mic was breaking. I'm sorry about that. I'm glad it was fixed. And then it finally worked. It was better. What else do we have here? Brother Glenn is asking something. Question. With the US markets doing great and inflation moving downwards and the news of rate cuts coming in September, why is the market at the moment not moving? Excellent question. You know, this is a very, very good question. And this question just answers exactly the cycles. And this question was very important because we need to understand this. What moves the market is not the news or all these hypes. What moves the markets is liquidity, period, right? All the rumors of interest rate cuts, until it's done and the Feds decide to stimulate the economy with real fiat currency and flooding it into the economy, you won't see no movement. This is exactly why, and this is what really shows the importance of liquidity. Without liquidity, no market is being moved. Nothing is going to move. It's going to be speculated. It will be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. People will dump, people will buy, people will based on fear and greed. But the real bull cycle that goes parabolic and changes lives is yet to come. But it will come only after liquidity is being stimulated into the market through real fiat money. And this is exactly what we've been talking about. This is what we were saying, that we shouldn't worry about the short-term dumps and market, market movements going sideways and all, but we should look at the big picture of what is potentially also coming on the blockchain, specifically Ethereum blockchain. And with all this liquidity coming onto the market, without it, there won't be no market movements, right? So for one, we're in the right blockchain. We're on the right blockchain. That liquidity is about to just rush into it, because once the interest rates are officially cut and the Feds are stimulating the economy with real fiat in the trillions of dollars. And as we know, retailers, you and me, we are accounting for over 70% of the economic transactions in the US alone. And we will be the trigger, because right now retail is absent. There is no money. Money is not in the hands of retailers. Once it gets printed, markets get stimulated, gets into the hands of the retailers, and they are rushing to crypto because it's the #1 asset class that is outpacing any other asset. That's when you'll see the market move, Brother Glenn. That's the reason why. Simple answer, there's no liquidity right now, and there is no retail activity right now because there is no liquidity. Once the printing starts by stimulating the market and printing fiat currencies, US dollar, into the economy, until then will only go sideways or pump due to short-term buy the news, sell the new, buy the rumor, sell the news events. So that's the reason why the market is still not moving, because retail is not here, because there's no liquidity in their hands right now. So that time is still ahead of us. That time is still coming. Queen Mama says here, China's bank have a bad debt problem, among others. 40 banks disappeared in China alone. That is terrifying. Multitude of people lost their life savings. Liquidity is indeed critical. Absolutely, Mom. It's very, 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 very critical. And this is exactly what's needed. And this is exactly why we do this differently. We focus on liquidity because we know that's the bloodline. That's what is needed to be sustainable and to be efficient. And most importantly, to be around for decades to come. And to also, it serves as consumer or community protection. You want the community to be comfortable. You want the traders to be comfortable. And you want the ecosystem to be sustainable too. This is why we address those 4 challenges we talked about, right? And that we discussed. So absolutely, Mom. Great point that you made here. Yes, absolutely. That's the case. Wow, thank you, Steve. Very well explained. I understand very well. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Glad that it helped you, Queen Alice. Thank you for your question. That was a great one. And Brother Glenn, you too. Those were great questions. We have Wise Lolly says, sent your link to a friend, nephew, and grandnephew. All are current investors in the crypto and other markets. Great. Welcome to the community. Nice to have you here, Wise Lolly. Feel free to join our Telegram groups, follow us on Twitter, be part of the ecosystem. We are very happy to have you here. Glad that you spreading the word and bringing awareness to our ecosystem. You're very much appreciated. We have Queen Monica here as well. BULLRUN ecosystem, great opportunity. Thank you so much, community. I want to thank you all for participating, for being part of this session again. I apologize for the technical difficulty that we experienced. Glad that it worked out and you were able to complete this session today. Again, the topic was blockchain innovations. This served for us to not undermine the blockchain technology and to really just limit it to just as a wild west of flipping a bunch of meme coins, but to really look at it to its full potential. We looked at the medical field. We looked at the automotive. We looked at payment, systems. We looked at the infrastructures, decentralized DPINs, the decentralized physical infrastructures that you can be part of. And there'll be ways that we'll be able to generate revenue just by participating with the blockchain, right? So there are many ways that we can really embrace and engage within the blockchain technology. Plus, we need to look at it for what it really is. It's so much bigger than flipping meme coins on Uniswap. And the liquidity that we're about to experience that will be rushing the blockchain, specifically the Ethereum blockchain, because money goes where money already is, right? And money follows where money goes. And the largest asset manager and the largest bank in the world both chose Ethereum blockchain as their home. So other smaller banks and smaller asset managers, guess where they're going to come? They're going to come to Ethereum. Wherever BlackRock goes, wherever JP Morgan goes, everybody else will follow because they are the largest in the industry, right? They're the trend setter, right? Whatever they do, everybody else follows. So with that said, community, this is the message for today. Always understand the bigger picture in the industry. Let's not fall for face value of this news that we hear and the fear that we see Ethereum being sold down to 3,100. The bigger picture is that the most liquidity will be used on the blockchain of Ethereum because it's the largest smart contract blockchain and it's the most liquid and has the most developers. And that's where people go. Developers go where developers are already developing. And money goes where there's already money involved, right? So thank you so much, community. You are very much appreciated for that. And I see Queen Patricia says, Steve, do you have anything more to say about Saitama story? We'll understand if you don't say anything. Saitama story. Yes, I used to be part of the team with the Saitama, and that was right after Shiba. That was the second project and the only two projects I was really part of in the crypto space before we started our own ecosystems. And yes, I was part of the developer team. I was the last developer that joined. And yes, I was part of the Saitama team that was experienced much success during the last bull cycle. We joined Saitama. Well, I joined Saitama when Saitama was barely at 300,000 market cap. So it was as large as our killer whale right now. And it was unknown, and it was a new challenge after Shiba that was really privileged to be part of and participated in. And it was a great experience because it gave me an opportunity to really look at the insides, what projects are like, right? Those were in my early days and the early stages after the Shiba wave. That was the second project that I was part of, and it was another project that hit over 7 billion during the last bull cycle, and was a major success among the community tokens as well. So Shiba was the first one. It hit over 42 billion market cap, and then Saitama was the second one that was a real hit as well. And then later on, though, I parted ways with them due to certain differences that I really explained in detail. But nonetheless, I look at it as an experience that was valuable, and it really helped us to really understand the importance of putting the community first and focusing on developing sustainable ecosystems that are sustainable and efficient as well, and that are actually addressing challenges. So us being able to develop our own ecosystem was a pleasure because now it gave us It gave us the opportunity to do things differently. You know, if you're part of something hands-on, you look at what works and what doesn't work, right? And it gave us the opportunity to learn and grow and to do things differently once we had the opportunity to do so. And this is the reason why we were so passionate about developing our own ecosystem that is literally addressing the challenges in the industry, right? And it's not just built based on hype or current events or, you know, like these celebrity tokens or political tokens or so on and so forth. But we looked at the industry, we looked at the challenges, we analyzed it, we looked at the different blockchains and cryptocurrencies, specifically the top 5. We analyzed those and we developed an ecosystem around it. And all I can say is it was a great experience that we learned from it, and we now know how to really do things differently, more efficient, more sustainable, and most importantly, always put the community's best interest at heart and develop an ecosystem around the community. Put the community in the middle and then develop an ecosystem around it, right? That's the best way to do it. And then always make sure that you solve problems, you solve challenges, bring solutions, right? We saw that working. That formula always works, right? Look at Google, they solved a problem. Look at Microsoft, they solved a problem, right? Look at Apple, they solved a problem. And the irony is those ideas were never theirs. They took ideas from other individuals and just made it more efficient. That's it. As simple as that. Make it more efficient, make it sustainable, run with it. And that's the success formula. It's really easy. So I hope this answered your question, Queen Patricia. I hope this answered your question. Wise Lowly says, thank you for acknowledging my comment. You're very welcome. Glad to have you in the community. So with that said, community, I want to thank you all once more. It was a pleasure having you all today here with us. Thank you for taking your time and being part of this session today. I hope this was informational and educational, and most importantly, inspirational to all of us. And I want to also thank you for engaging with the tweets today to put the word out. You're very welcome, Queen Patricia. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for the question. And I want to wish you a wonderful rest of your week, community. And thank you for participating in this community event today. To all the new members, feel right at home. Welcome to the ecosystem. And feel free to join the Telegram groups, like you see here. Queen Val put it out here. We have the BULLRUN, Killer Whale, and Survivor here as well. And also, let's ensure that we really, all of us, engage with the tweets, like we said. They're all here also, as you see. And that's it for us today, community. I'm looking forward to our next community event together. That will be on Saturday on Telegram. So if you have more questions and you want to have a dialogue, feel free to participate, be part of it, and also to really push this YouTube video today. Besides the liking and the comments, ensure that you do that as well, right? Make sure that you comment on the video at the end, and you know, whatever that inspired you, you can leave a comment there, and ensure that you hit the like button is very important as well. It helps the algorithm reach as many people as possible, and that's the whole idea, right? The faster we grow, the better for us. We all benefit from it, and it doesn't really take much time to just hit the like button and put a nice comment there that what you felt that inspired you, or what you liked, or any feedback or any question for that matter. Feel free to do so. With that said, community, I see here Queen Pat says, with fundamentals, it means ours will be parabolic. Absolutely. Very well said. Very, very well said. This is very true. And this is the whole idea. This is the whole idea, is to really focus and emphasize on fundamentals, because people get carried away, like we said, on the price. But if you focus on the price, you'll be emotional, because it's a volatile. First of all, it's a volatile market, and it doesn't have much liquidity. So every small movement will has a big impact, right? But if you focus on the fundamentals, the price will sort itself out. It will sort itself out, and I'll leave it at that, right? My great brother Theo says, incredible session, great professor. Thanks again for all you do for the community and the entire space at large. Salute. Salute to you back, my great brother Theo. You're very much appreciated. And I hope you and yours are doing amazing and will have a fantastic rest of your week. And so these wishes go to the entire community, of course, as well. We have Queen Val says, thank you, Mr. Steve. Family, let's be sure to like and leave a comment after the live session. Absolutely. Let's do that. Let's ensure that we are diligent with this, because this is how the algorithms reach as many people as possible. And that's the whole idea, right? To reach many people that can be part of our ecosystem and just join the crypto industry as a whole, right? So with that said, community, I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you for participating. It's been a pleasure from our side. We always look forward to these events. Till then, let's hear from you again in our next community event, and looking forward to that. Thank you very much for everyone that participated. You're all very, very much appreciated. And let's talk again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay healthy, stay blessed, stay focused. And till then, bye-bye, community.